All right, guys, you could thank me later. I hope this helps out. It's also going to incentivize me to read this. So, the California general election, November 5th, 2024. Some of you may have voted already. Um, this might be too late. I should have done this earlier, possibly, because today is actually Halloween. I'm going to go over the propositions for you guys. So, this was Proposition 2. It authorizes bonds for public school and community college facilities legislative statute. So a bond is not free money. A bond is a loan. So we're going to have to pay that back through our taxes. So Proposition 2 authorizes bonds for public school and community college facilities. So there's a number here. I think it's like $10 billion. It's going to be given $10 billion. I have two websites. One's called Cal Matters. It was very brief. And I found another one called voterguide.sos.ca.gov. So it's a government website. But the Cal Matters right here, it actually gives me a numerical value. So borrow 10 million to respond. No. That's Proposition 3. Proposition 2. Okay, borrow 10 million to build schools and colleges. So that's Proposition 2. They want to borrow. So it's a bond. We're borrowing money. And I believe we're borrowing it from, I know who we're borrowing it from. We're borrowing it from Wall Street, actually. I read that. So authorizes 10 billion in general obligation bonds for repair, upgrade, and construction of facilities at K through 12 public schools, including charter schools, community colleges, and career technical education programs, including for improvement of health and safety conditions and classroom upgrades. Requires annual audits. Fiscal impact, which is government policy, increased state costs of about 500 million annually for 35 years to repay the bond. Supporters: California Teachers Association, California School Nurses, Community College League of California. Opponents: Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, because they're going to raise our taxes. So what your vote means: a yes vote on this measure means the state could borrow 10 billion to build new or renovate existing public school and community college facilities. No, obviously this measure means the state could not borrow 10 million to build new or renovate existing public schools and community facilities or college facilities. So the arguments, pro and con. The pro of voting yes for this: many schools and community colleges are outdated, need basic health and safety repairs and upgrades to prepare students for college and careers and to retain and attract quality teachers. Proposition 2 meets those needs and requires strict taxpayer accountability, so funds are spent as promised with local control. Requires strict taxpayer accountability. So the con: Proposition 2 will increase our bond obligations by 10 billion. So we're already in debt, which will cost taxpayers an estimated 18 billion when repaid with interest. A bond works like a government credit card. Paying off that credit card requires the government to spend more of your tax dollars. Yeah, so I'm gonna raise our taxes on that for sure. So arguments and rebuttals of Proposition 2. Remember, that's you vote yes, that means you want us to be approved of getting a $10 billion bond, which we pay back in taxes over 35 years. So an argument in favor of Proposition 2 and then argument against it. Vote yes on Prop 2 to help more California students learn in safe, clean, upgraded schools. Many public schools and community colleges throughout California are outdated, need repairs, upgrades to meet basic health and safety standards, prepare students for college and 21st century careers, and retain and attract quality teachers. Prop 2 will meet those needs and is guided by strict taxpayer accountability protection, so funds are spent as promised with local control. Repairing and upgrading California public schools. Many schools are old, deteriorating, unsafe, cannot support the basic needs of our children. Prop 2 provides funding for urgent repairs to leaky roofs, deteriorating gas, electrical, and sewer lines, plumbing, and restrooms, providing clean drinking water, removing hazardous mold, asbestos, and lead paint from our schools, and protecting students from extreme heat. Making schools safer. Too many of our local schools lack adequate safety and security protections. Prop 2 will make students safer by funding door locks, emergency communications and security systems, fire alarms, smoke detectors, and more. Preparing students for 21st century careers. Prop 2 will upgrade local schools and community colleges, including science, engineering, career, technical, and vocational education classrooms, labs, and learning technology. It will help more students get job training, technical knowledge, and specialized skills to compete for good paying jobs in the competitive economy. I want to read all this. Economy. Increasing access to an affordable college education. Prop 2 will increase access to quality, affordable higher education for all Californians, allowing more students to start their college education, earn college credits, and transfer to a four-year. So they're talking about the junior college, which is I love the junior college system. Helping returning veterans. Prop 2 helps local community colleges upgrade facilities to expand veteran services, job training, and support for the tens of thousands of California's returning veterans who rely on their local community college for job training and to complete their education and enter the civilian workforce. Restoring schools affected by wildfires, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. Provides immediate assistance to schools that are damaged or destroyed by wildfires, floods, etc. Protecting local control over every project. Prop 2 protects local control by requiring that its funding only be used for projects approved by local school and community college districts. With local community input, all of the money will be controlled and spent locally, where taxpayers have a voice in deciding how these funds are best used to improve their neighborhood schools without increasing local property taxes. But just like anything, you must take action in your community. So fiscally responsible with tough taxpayer accountability. Prop 2 requires a public disclosure of every dollar, tough independent financial audits, meaning you can see their books exactly, their accounting books of what it was spent on, and strict limits on administrative and bureaucratic costs. These protections ensure that funding is spent directly on schools and used efficiently and as promised. Our schools are in a desperate need of upgrades and repairs to ensure our students are safe and ready to learn. Prop 2 will help our students succeed. Please join us in voting yes on Prop 2. David Goldberg, President, California Teachers Association. Sherry Coburn, Executive Director, California School Nurses Organization. Larry Galizio, Chief Executive Officer, Community College League of California. All right, so rebuttal. Okay, there's some rebuttals right here, but let me read the against the prop. So no on Prop 2. Tells politicians to prioritize education funding over free health care for illegal immigrants in our state budget, rather than further burdening taxpayers to pay off Sacramento's ballooning bond debt. Proposition 2 was yet another attempt to circumvent California's financial problems by asking taxpayers to approve a $10 billion bond for education, financing that should have been included in this year's $288 billion budget package. A budget is a reflection of priorities, and our state legislature choose to prioritize over $5 billion for universal illegal immigrant health care rather than providing funds to support and repair our school infrastructure. Billions in new bond debt is not the answer. So there's an immigrant argument here. Prop 2 saddles future generations with debt that our kids will be paying off for decades. The Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association points out that bonds are borrowed money that must be paid back plus interest, even if that means cutting vital programs to do it. Governor Newsom recently declared a budget emergency because California spends more than it takes in. Children in school today will be drowning in new debt for decades if Prop 2 passes. Politicians want to borrow $10 million or $10 billion from Wall Street and make Californians pay it back with interest, forcing taxpayers to pay up to $10 billion for debt service payments. Again, they're going to give themselves again. It's not money that's going to fix the problem. It's morals and principles that are going to fix the problem. So California is out of money. Californians are overtaxed. Prop 2 will make things worse. California with rampant inflation and the highest gas and graduated income taxes in the nation, already has over $109 billion of outstanding and unissued bonds, alongside almost $200 billion of unfunded pension liabilities and retiree medical benefits. Over $250 billion, Californians will have to shoulder a greater increase in their tax burden paying off our bonds and related interest payments. Our bond debt alone is already $2,460 per person. Sacramento politicians overspend, issue bonds, and punish us with tax hikes on our cars, gasoline, and income. And those tax dollars rarely go where politicians say they will. Our roads crumble while billions go to high-speed rail. Prop 2 is the latest in a long list of broken promises. In 2012, California voters approved Proposition 30's temporary increases to income and sales tax. So Prop 2 is the latest in a long list of broken promises. In 2012, California voters approved Proposition 30's temporary increases to income and sales tax. Then Proposition 55 in 2016 extended many of those temporary taxes to 2028. Both times, teachers' unions promised billions in funding for our schools. Money pits in the vast education bureaucracy will suck up most Prop 2 funds without 1 cent going toward direct instruction in school classrooms. Money pits in the vast education bureaucracy will suck up most Prop 2 funds without 1 cent going toward direct instruction in school classrooms. Instead, this money will be spent on wasteful construction projects benefiting special interests. California schools are consistently ranked near the lowest in the country. Rather than throwing nearly $20 billion into school construction projects, our state needs a well thought out long-term solution to achieve a high standard of excellence in reading, writing, and math. Prop 2 does nothing to improve classroom instruction or help our children succeed. Hence, you got to do the work yourself. We need to put in the kids' minds the honor and value and having an educated mind and the respect. Like we need to have parties for people who have good grades. We need to say, dude, it's awesome. It's like, dude, it's so awesome to have good grades and be smart and to read, you know? It's so awesome to know knowledge. So voters rejected Proposition 13, a $15 billion school bond in 2020 for exactly these reasons. It seems like it's going to pass though for some reason because there's a projection here. Actually, the other one, well, on this Cal Matters. There's a projection here. It says yes, 52%. Well, this is a close one right here. Prop 2 is a close one. 52% and then 46% no and then 2% undecided. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna just do that's Prop 2. Let me take a break. I'll just do one video at a time for each proposition. There's only 10 of them, so I'm talking like a guy doing some sort of when you have to get a car at an auction, like an auction guy. That's Prop 2. All right, guys, I forgot about the rebuttal to arguments in favor of Prop 2. So Proposition 2 will increase debt and result in higher property taxes. California already owes big banks and billionaire investors more than $78 billion. Prop 2 adds another $10 billion, $18 billion when repaid with interest for school and community college districts. This is on top of the approximately 40% of the total state budget guaranteed to go to public education from Proposition 98. Under the funding formula used in Prop 2, school districts must provide a local match of funds to receive money from the bonds. That will lead to districts issuing new school or local school bonds, which are paid for by adding new charges to property tax bills. Rebuttal to argument in favor of Proposition 2. So Prop 2 ignores declining enrollment in schools and community colleges. It's reckless to borrow billions more to pay for more school buildings when district enrollment is declining, according to the State Department of Finance. California has experienced the sixth consecutive decrease in total public K-12 enrollment in 2022 and 2023 school year, and over the next 10 years, if current trends hold, a further decline of 661,500 by 2032 through 33. Prop 2 borrows $1.5 billion for California community college facilities, but enrollment in the state's community college has declined since 2019. The Public Policy Institute of California projects that community college enrollment will not recover to pre-pandemic levels. While the promise made by proponents cannot be guaranteed, Prop 2 does guarantee higher taxes for overburdened Californians. Okay, so that was like obviously that's against Prop 2, right? So now for the rebuttal to argument against Proposition 2. So Prop 2 ensures that California students have the opportunity to learn in safe, updated schools while protecting taxpayers. Prop 2 is not a tax increase. Prop 2 will fund local upgrades and repairs to schools and community colleges without raising state or local taxes, despite what critics say. Some of the voices against Prop 2 are ignorant about state bond financing and are making untrue claims because they simply want a state to cut funding for public education. We can't wait any longer. Too many California students attend schools with leaky roofs, unsafe drinking water, mold, asbestos, lead paint, and lead pipes. There was a massive backlog of school or local school repairs, but no state funding available for them. Prop 2 provides the funding so our schools get the upgrades they desperately need, ensuring students have safe, healthy schools to support learning. Prop 2 puts local voters in control of how school bond monies are spent. It requires public disclosure of all state and local spending, annual audits, and tough accounting standards. Additionally, it protects taxpayers from higher local property taxes by providing state matching funds to local communities so they do not need to raise even more money to fund the full cost of school repairs and upgrades. It protects taxpayers from higher local property taxes by providing state matching funds. Prop 2 is a bipartisan measure that will help more students get a quality education, increase access to an affordable college education, and improve job training opportunities for veterans and students. Yeah, the immigrant argument is kind of irrelevant. We all know it's kind of true. But what are we gonna do about it? You know, right? We stop that. Let's stop that for sure. Hmm. Again, my idea that a lot of this has to just do with rhetoric and things that don't necessarily even involve money. We could use social media. We could start building this bubble of changing the way we think. So it doesn't have anything to do with money. Um, Supposedly we're gonna be able to see the to see in which direction the money is actually going, which is a good thing. But I think that is the case for every single proposition. I can't see anywhere where, I mean, there are government, they serve us, and what happened to all those millions in California that just disappeared? There were billions of dollars that disappeared. So can we trust these people with money? I'm not sure. And also, I know in poor places there's bad, but there's also sick people in white collar crimes. There's psychopathic dudes that have money. But through my experience, some of the best people, the close knit families, are ones that don't even have anything, that are poor or poor compared to American standards. So it's I think I think I mean, did this say it was going to raise teachers' salaries to make them incentivized to be better teachers, to put forth better effort, or so that we could attract, so we could, well, I mean, then there's an argument there. Like you rather have somebody who has the heart to be a teacher, and sometimes money's going to bring those who are just in it for the money. So I don't know. That's a tough one. Um, Obviously, there's a sale there for the veterans to get help, um, and then there's an argument there. Well, the numbers are declining for people going to school, but I think, I don't know. It could just be me, but I think, I don't know. Is it declining? I know the rhetoric is that schools are a fraud, and I think I think there's I think I could learn a lot more from reading a book. I think I could go search my own knowledge. I don't necessarily have to go to school, but being here at school has introduced me to certain literature, has introduced me to certain ideas, has fueled my desire to learn. But I think the reason why they give you money at junior college or the 2 year university is to incentivize you to get that loan to go to the next level. Uh, there's some psychological discoveries in some of my professors that I've noticed. Mm, it's a tough one. Honestly, for me, I actually chose no because I don't really trust this government. I think there's going to be a change of a guard. I think people are going to get fed up, and the rhetoric is going to change. I think I have hope for that.